December 30th, 2025. And I've really enjoyed my time with you, and I'm looking forward to a brand new year. So I'd like to give you some thoughts about anchoring your life, not only today, but as we head into 2026. I still can't believe how quickly life is really gone. The first one, of course, that I want to talk about is training your body. Now, I myself am a kind of a fitness nut. Every morning I get up and I do my 10 or 15 minutes of different stretches. And then, of course, I go over to the gym and work out as well. And then late at night, I take my dogs out for a walk. I have a British bulldog whose name is Butler, and a couple of big Labradors, and one in particular is Baxter. And every once in a while, when I take Baxter out for his evening walk, he kind of forgets where he is and what he is doing. That's what happened last night. So I was out walking with Baxter and came into the yard, and he wasn't there. So I had to call him and remind him that, of course, when you go for the walk, you don't take a walk in the wilderness. So, of course, as we head into a brand new year, the first thing you and I should do is, of course, make a resolution to train our body. It gives us energy, resilience, and also as well discipline. So I know that many people are going to say, you know what? I'm going to get in better shape. I'm going to eat better this year. I'm going to take care of my body. My simple exhortation for you today is to do that. Also, as well, the second anchor in life, because we're talking about the five anchors in life, the second one that you and I should have is, of course, to quiet our minds. Every single day, we should take time to just do a little introspection and also as well a time of reflection. You know what that does? It gives us opportunity for clarity and also calmness. That is so very, very important. You and I every day need to spend some time in reflection, thinking about whatever things, and I love how Paul puts it. He puts it, whatsoever things are right, and whatsoever things are good, whatsoever things are lovely and of good report, think on these things. So every single day, take some time just to quiet your mind, to get rid of the worry. You see, worry, of course, is that one factor where you and I, we often, what we do is we end up worrying about things that never happen. One man put it this way. He said 90% of all the things that happen to us actually never happen. So make sure that the first anchor in your life is, of course, training your body. It was Paul who said this. He says, I beat my body so that I can win the race. So that's important. Secondly, calm your mind. The third one is, of course, to strengthen your spirit, to reconnect to your purpose and for your alignment. I believe that every single day, you and I should spend time, in spiritual connection. Every day, I like to spend time with the Lord, worshiping, and also as well reading God's word and spending time in prayer. It was Gordon MacDonald who said simply this. He says, each and every single one of us needs to align our day, ordering our private world. That's what I do every single morning. It is important that you and I order our day. I love what the psalmist David said. He said, the steps of a good person are ordered by the Lord. So when you and I make it an anchor of our lives, that we're going to make sure that every day has purpose and direction, praying about things, bringing things before the Lord and saying, Lord, today I want to make sure that I am making the right decisions. In a couple of moments, I'm going to read to you something that really came very important. And it's simply life is an echo. So it's important that we allow that the mercies of God are new every morning and that we recognize that there is a faithfulness in spending time, connecting with your spirit. And also, as well, understanding that as you go through the day, you are not alone. That's so important to know that you're not alone, that you're not fighting this good fight of faith by yourself. It was Jesus who said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. It's so great. And one of my favorite scriptures is, of course, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. This simply says, trust the Lord with all your heart. Do not lean to your own understanding, but in all ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Also, as well, another thing that you and I should be doing every day is, of course, sharpening our craft. What is it that you like to do? What is it that you are excellent at? Every one of us are given skills and talents, something that we really like to do. Many of us, for example, remember Jim Carrey. I mean, we just watched The Grinch That Stole Christmas. And Jim Carrey, of course, was the Grinch that stole Christmas. It is a wonderful movie. And I love the one-liners that he brings to the movie. But did you know that Jim Carrey is also an accomplished artist? That's right. He is a person who paints, and his paintings are actually very good. And not only, of course, is he a top rated entertainer, but he is also a top rated artist. And every day he goes and, of course, he practices his craft. And so maybe there's something that you do really well. Why don't you practice that craft? My wife, for example, she is a top rated crochet people. People who know my wife often say, would you mind doing this or that? Right now, we have a friend whose name is Kira. Kira has made a request that my wife would crochet her a blanket. So she's been working on this blanket for a few days, and it's an absolute work of art. Every day, my wife takes time to crochet and, of course, work on her craft. That's something that you and I should do every day. We need to stay confident, and we need to be growing every day. In fact, it was Peter who said this, grow in the grace and knowledge of the Lord Jesus Christ every day. So what are you good at? Do that consistently. I have a friend, for example, of course, I ride motorcycles, and I have a friend who loves working on his motorcycle, and he rebuilds motorcycles. In fact, when we go to hang out together, it almost seems that he has a brand new motorcycle, and he restores, we're talking vintage 60s and 70s and 80 motorcycles. And I never know what new motorcycle he's going to have. Last summer, when I was having my conversations with him, he said, I sold a whole bunch of motorcycles, but I bought a whole bunch of motorcycles. I said, how many do you have right now? He says, I have 19. I said, well, how many did you sell? He said, 18. He says, I bought 18 more. He says, and I'm working on them. That's his craft. That is his love. So whatever you are doing today that you really love, keep doing it and be consistent in doing it. You know why? Because you're sharpening your craft. I myself am a great talker. So every day or almost every day, I put content here on YouTube. Why? Because I'm sharpening my craft. Also, as well, and this is a very important one, especially as we head into the brand new year, please connect with people that you love. Remember, presence is over productivity. My wife and I were together last night. Of course, we're together every day. But I asked her, did you enjoy your holidays? And she said it was a beautiful holiday. On Christmas, of course, we had our daughter and her friend over for Christmas supper. Then yesterday or on Sunday, my entire family came to spend Sunday with us. So we had my daughter and her family, my son, my oldest son, and his family. And then we had my youngest son and his family. And we all had, a dinner at our house. And then we went and had games at my son's farm. My son has a fairly large farm, and he has this one particular area or constant where, of course, he set up his what he calls his man cave. But in there, we were able to, open up gifts. And it was great to watch, especially the younger ones. I have a granddaughter whose name is Shara. She's 8. I have another granddaughter whose name is Mira. She's 7. And then I have 2 grandsons who are younger, Lewis, who happens to be 4, and Caleb, who happens to be 2. It was absolutely hilarious watching these kids open up their gifts, and they were just having an absolutely wonderful time. And it's great to connect with family. Well, of course, yesterday the entire family showed up again back at our place for some, refreshment and some time to spend together, and then they all left. Well, our youngest grandchildren stayed with us, and then my son came and got them a little bit later. Well, it was an absolutely wonderful time. I know that there's a lot of folks out there who don't have that, but if you have people in your life that are important, relationships that are important, keep working those relationships. Remember also as well, if you're going to have friends, you've got to prove to be friendly. It's amazing how relationships would start. I was talking about my granddaughter Sarah, who is 8 years old, last summer, and I thought this was hilarious to watch. She actually won as part of the Christmas concert. She won what is commonly known in her school as the Spirit Award. She is such a wonderful little girl, and she has absolutely no problem making friends. When we went to the beach, there's a lake not very far from where we live. And that one particular Saturday over last summer, we went to the lake, and I watched my granddaughter Sarah make friends. She would walk up to somebody, and all of a sudden she would start talking with them, and before you knew it, she had a brand new friend. By the time that we left, she had touched about 8 or 9 little kids. There was actually a little girl who was standing off to the side, and Sarah looked at her and walked over to her and invited her to be part of her posse. Well, you should have seen, I watched it. You should have seen the face of that little girl. It lit up. And all of a sudden, she who had been sitting off to the side was invited to be part of course, a wonderful experience. And the center of all of this was Sarah. You see, she has a personality that draws people to him. You say, well, I could never do that. Really? Why don't you try? You might be very, very surprised about what can happen to you today. Now, I want to leave you with a simple thought today. So I'm going to put my glasses on for just a moment, and I'm going to bring up what I saw today. And I want you to listen to this. It's kind of neat. It says simply this: life is an echo. Did you know that life is an echo? What you send out comes back to you. What you sow, you reap. What you give, you get. What you see in others actually exists in you. So when you don't judge, you know what's going to happen? You're not going to be judged. You're going to radiate and give love. And when you radiate and give love, you know what? It comes back to you. I love that one scene in The Grinch where he starts yelling out, "Hey!" And the echo came back to him. Have you ever been in a place where there's an echo and you speak out, and what you speak out comes back to you? Think about that today. We talked about the 5 different anchors in your life. That being the fact that you and I every day should, of course, spend some time getting, physically fit. Number 2, of course, make sure that you spend some time in reflection and also as well calming yourself. Thirdly, make sure that you, of course, spend time, with the Lord. Fourthly, make sure that you spend time working on the things that you love. Remember, you have talents and skills, and make sure that you spend time growing in them. And then lastly, make sure that you connect with people that you love and build relationships. These, of course, are an echo and reflection of your life. So, Father, today I thank you for the opportunity to be able to share these little things. And I pray today that we would understand that our lives really do matter. When we show love to others, that is what comes back to us. When we show kindness, kindness is what we get back to again. When we spend time with other people, we are actually becoming more enlarged and a greater person. And also help us to recognize that we can touch others for you today. And let's do that today. Let us order our day, and let us remember today that love is patient and love is kind. My name is Robert Dean Steele. Thank you for spending time with me. And remember, as we head into the brand new year, make those resolutions, but not only make them, but keep them. That will also show consistency. You have yourself a great and godly day. Oh, by the way, don't forget to press the like button, and also as well, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, check out my daily shorts. Every day I do a series of different, vignettes, snapshots, little pieces of advice. I did a bunch just before I did this particular presentation. Do that as well. So check those out. My name is Robert Dean Steele. You have yourself a great and godly day.